Welcome to another episode of Side by Side, where we go to restaurants that are in the same vicinity that serve the same food, and we do that side-by-side comparison to let you know which one reigns supreme. And today is an episode that I'm very excited about. We're going back to our roots. We're going to pizza. Pizza's always been a huge passion of mine, as you can see, rocking the pizza socks. Today, we're in DUMBO, Brooklyn, and we're going to be visiting two rival pizzerias. That's right, Juliana's and Grimaldi's. Now, the backstory with Juliana's and Grimaldi's is Patsy Grimaldi actually began his pizza making experience when he was 10 years old, and he was doing it up in Harlem at the original Patsy's Pizzeria here in New York City. But in 1990, he actually decided he wanted to open up his own pizzeria. So he opened it up in the Brooklyn waterfront, because back then, coal fire ovens, they were illegal in Manhattan. So he's like, I'm going to go to Brooklyn, and he found a spot at 19 Old Fulton St. In 1998, he was going to go into retirement, and he sold to Frank Scioli. Since that time, Grimaldi left its original location and moved right next door to 1 Old Fulton St. Was an old abandoned bank. But what happened in 2012, Patsy Grimaldi decided that he wanted to come out of retirement. He missed the customers, he missed pizza making, and he opened up Juliana's, named after his mother, right next door to Grimaldi. That's where the entire rivalry began and started. So let's go inside, check them out, see what they're all about. Place that we came to is Grimaldi's. Grimaldi's was really my introduction to the great New York City pizza. It's fantastic. I actually remember the first time I came here was December 2010. The reason I remember that is because this pizza made such an amazing impression on me. From the way that the crust is baked, to the delicious sauce, the cheese, it's amazing. Now the thing about Frank Scioli, being the businessman that he is, he actually he franchised Grimaldi's and made it across 11 different states, which is amazing. So, what we got here today though, we got the margarita pie. Margarita has to be the standard. We're gonna do the side-by-side comparison of both spots. Just your simple basil, mozzarella, tomato sauce. We also got the Don. And the Don, it's a pie with meatball, pepperoni, and then sausage. So, heavy on the meat, which you all know that I do love. And we got it half red and half white. The half red, obviously that tomato sauce. And then on the white side, it's gonna be, without sauce, it's gonna be garlic based with olive oil. Fantastic, looking forward to both. Let's check them out. All right. First up, we got the margarita, and of course, looks phenomenal. Now, one of the rumors of how margarita pizza actually first came to be, it was named after one of the Princess Margarita, or the Queen Margarita, I'm sorry. And they want to make it the colors of the Italian flag. You got the green, you got the red, you got the white. Looking forward to this bad boy. And you're in New York City, so make sure you fold it. Cheers. So I took 2 bites before I got the review because that first bite didn't have as much cheese as I wanted. First thing you're going to notice is how sweet this pie is. The flavor of sweetness just hits your mouth as soon as it goes in. On top of that, you'll notice there's a hint of saltiness. I'm not sure if it was with the dough or with the cheese, but there was a hint of salt. And then this is a very thin, crispy pizza. It's very unique to other styles, from the dollar slices to what you get in Chicago, even the Neapolitan pizzas. The New York pizza is unique in itself, and the crispiness, you can see it's actually burnt right there on the bottom. It's very thin. Man, it is good. That's a quality margarita. Delicious. All right, so funny thing happened when we were putting in our order. There's a little bit of a mix-up in communication. We actually got 1 white pie and then also the Don, but we wanted the Don for both, speaking half and half. Let's try this white pie first, though. Something that I'm looking very forward to. I mean, I love pizza, but white, usually I prefer white over the red sauce. Here we go. Cheers. For me, white pies just hit different. You have the flavor of the olive oil, which brings out, really accentuates the flavor of the mozzarella cheese, the saltiness of the pie, also the garlic flavor as well. I mean, across the board, fantastic. And then the thing with the white pie is also it's going to be cooked a lot faster because it doesn't have the sauce as the base. I find that it's not as crispy as well. cooks faster. I love it. I love me a white pie. Let's hit that Dawn. I'm excited. This is the one I get every single time, the Dawn. Just an explosion of meat flavors in your mouth, right? You have the spiciness of the pepperoni. Also on top of that, these meatballs, the sausage. First of all, these meatballs, they're cooked to perfection. So your teeth just goes right through it like a hot knife through butter. And then on top of that, the sausage also has a spice to it as well. I mean, that's why I get it every single time. I love the flavor of meat. Of course, there's with all that to go contrast with that spiciness of the meat, you have the sweetness of that tomato sauce that they make right here in house. That's great. And the dough, fantastic. The dough is amazing. 2 thumbs up, Grimaldis. Y'all know what you're doing. My goodness. Make sure you get the Dawn when you come here. Of all of them, the Dawn was the best. Let's wait for that white Dawn to come out though here, coming out in a minute. This is the one that I've been waiting for. No pepperoni left behind, by the way. Make sure you get those, guys. This is the pie that I get every single time I come to a spot like Grimaldi's, or like when we're going to next, Juliana's. I gotta get it with the meatballs. I gotta get it with the pepperoni, the sausage, and I want it white. That might be blasphemous to some. Ooh, you know what I'm noticing about this one? It's a lot more fluffy right here. Ooh. Also, interestingly enough, the crust, there's a lot more crust on this as well. You can see that the cheese didn't go all the way to the end, but this crust looking very delicious. Here we go. Cheers. That garlic hits you. You have the sweetness of the basil as well. They threw some basils on there for us. So I love salt. This pie, because it's garlic based, olive oil, it's much more salty than the rest of these. It's not going to have the sweetness because it doesn't have the sauce. If your palate prefers more salty pies, you got to get the white slice, and then you got to get it with all these rich, succulent meats on top of it because, man, this is what I call perfection. I love it. All right, folks, we're here at the original location where I first absolutely fell in love with pizza. Back in 2010, it was a Grimaldi's, but right now, right next door, it is Juliana's. And let me tell you, I am very excited. Although we did get a little bit of a curveball with us. Next door, we had the Dawn, where we actually had the pepperoni, sausage, and meatball topping. Here, we're only allowed to get 2 toppings per pie. So we went with the pepperoni and with the meatball. And we got an egg cream. These guys, they're known actually for having the best egg cream in all of New York City. And what it is, it's actually Brooklyn seltzer, milk, and then, you bet, chocolate syrup. Ooh. Let me have a little sip. Tasty. Hot summer day, one of the first things you're going to notice is obviously the bubbles from that seltzer hitting your lip. Very refreshing, but then you get this rich, I don't want to call it overpowering flavor, but my goodness, the chocolate flavor came in immediately, and my God, it was great. Loved it, especially on this hot day. Don't skip out on this when you come here. They are here, and they look fire. Let me tell you, as soon as these bad boys came out of the oven, there was steam coming off of it, and I was just like, oh yes, what a beautiful day to have some beautiful, amazing, delicious pizza. Let's dig into this guy. Ooh. First things first, I'm going to say right off the bat, it seems even a tad bit thinner than Grimaldi's. Take a look at it though. You got those Italian flag colors, the white mozzarella, the red tomato sauce, and then of course that green basil. Here we go. fantastic. I mean, Patsy Grimaldi definitely knows what he's doing. This one, tomato sauce, though sweet, had a little bit more tart as opposed to Grimaldi's next door. Still good, but I will say this: the crust cooked to perfection. Nice, crispy, soft at the same time. I mean, my goodness. The first love I ever had in my life was pizza. The number one love in my life, though, obviously the director, but I mean, hey, sorry, babes. Loved pizza a little bit longer. All right, now on to, not necessarily a specialty spot here, but our own specialty that we made on ourselves. One of the things, as stated earlier, this pie is so thin. Look at that, though. Cooked to perfection. I'm excited. I'll tell you. Get that guy get it out of my face. The toppings are just packed on here. No wonder you only get 2 toppings per pie. All this delicious meat. Yes. That meatball, first of all, very tender. Teeth just slice through that like a hot knife through butter. On top of that, a little bit of spice. Didn't really have any pepperoni on that bite. Let's get a mouthful on this one. Just the flavor of the quality meats as a whole. Delicious. Add a hint of spice. There's the juiciness of both the pepperoni as well as the meatball. And on top of that, you do have that slight sweetness of the tomato sauce. My goodness, it is good. And then, of course, to tell the truth, I think they might cook the crust a little bit better here. I hate to sound basic, but my goodness, I can't even. Absolutely delicious. Let's go to that white pie now, though. Here we go. The white one, which is always a personal favorite of mine. I love white pizza. I know it can be blasphemous to some people because they're always like, hey, you got to stick with the original, right? You got to get the red sauce. No, give me that garlic. Give me that olive oil. Give me that salt. That's what I want. So, here we go. I cannot believe how many toppings they packed on here, and you only get 2. Nothing short of delightful. The olive oil brings all the flavors together. You really can get that saltiness and the savoriness of all these meats, as well as the delicious mozzarella that's cooked on here. And then the pie, the bottom of the pie just cooked so good. I think they got the crust down a little bit better here, but this might be weird to say. As great as this slice is, I think I actually might like the white pie better over at Grimaldi's. Is that blasphemous for me to say? The red pie, delicious, but over there, the white one might actually have a little bit better flavor. I mean, regardless, both fantastic. What an amazing way to spend my Saturday, and I hope y'all are having a great day as well. Well, folks, that concludes our day down here in Brooklyn. And as you can see, there's no shortage of pizza. As a matter of fact, we love the pizza down here so much. We got 2 to go, and on top of that, we had leftovers as well. Now, first impressions, I will say this. That egg cream was phenomenal. Top notch. It is the best egg cream I've ever had, bar none. New York City, anywhere across the country, it was great. It was rich, it was creamy, it was bubbly. It was just so delightful and so delicious here on this hot summer day. Now, when it comes to pizzas, I will say this. The tomato sauce over at Grimaldi's, it was a little bit sweeter, and I like my tomato sauce sweet. Over here at Juliana's, a little more tart style. So I gotta go with Grimaldi's when it does come to tomato sauce, but the pizza as a whole, Juliana's edges it out with the crust being cooked to perfection, with the toppings being savory, delicious, salty, phenomenal. On top of that, that buffalo mozzarella was great as well. Got to give the edge to Juliana's Pizza. Folks, with all that said, thank you for the views. Thank you for the subscribes. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you like the content, give us a subscribe. And weekend's only a few days away. My Saturday was amazing. I hope you have a great week and a better weekend. Take it easy, y'all. Bye-bye.